said in my last loose seat cleaning video that I'd be back with an actual car being cleaned. Well, I do have a new one of my own I'm eager to share. Wanted to try and prime the algorithm with something else first, so stay tuned to see how I get on sprucing up a snazzy 718 Spyder using nothing but its owner's own stuff. Now, while I haven't cleaned this particular Porsche before, I have featured plenty of others on these block paving stones. So to put a fresh spin on things this time around, thought I'd rock up with nothing more than my filming equipment and cheekily raid the owner's garage for potentially appropriate cleaning tools and products instead, as a self-proclaimed guru should still be able to deliver the goods even when stripped of their go-to gear. And while this car is still relatively new, had just covered a fair few sightseeing miles on the continent, so made sense to treat it to a post-expedition pre-winter wash and spritz. So after a quick rummage in the garage, which to be fair was well stocked for a weekend warrior, assembled a collection of cleaning stuff that I thought should combine in relatively hassle-free fashion to provide sufficient sprucing power, including a pair of yellow Meguiars wash buckets likely purchased on a previous recommendation of mine, which were thoroughly rinsed out first to remove any residual garage grime and grit, which is always worth doing whether working with your own items or someone else's. The owner utilises these buckets for dedicated wheel plus 2 bucket body washing by rinsing the wheel one out after use, which you can argue is both right and wrong. But with the car being PPF'd and a thorough pre-clean to be carried out, thought I'd just go with a single bucket wash, which for various reasons I find myself doing more and more these days. So went ahead and filled the body bucket up with some Gyeon Bathe Plus, which I don't think I've used in a video before, so thought would give a go. While the wheel one was topped up with Dodo juice born to be mild, which I have used for on-camera cleans before, just not for some time. While I was mixing and decanting, went ahead and topped up a small IK foamer, which was a nice find, with a strong mix of Valet Pro's citrus pre-wash for use on both the wheels and lower parts of the car, as frothy product tends to go on a bit further, while an Autobrite Direct heavy-duty foam lance was filled with Bilt Hamber touchless snow foam ready for use on the rest of the body. Then the final bit of pre-clean prep just involved unravelling the plasticky hose of the owner's trusty Karcher K4, which I suspected would be a bit of a futile affair, as these non-rubberised items tend to have a springy life of their own, but had to at least try before committing to using it. So with everything, including myself, about as ready for action as it was ever gonna be, got to work with the foamer, generously frothing the 20-inch wheels over from front to back, treating easily overlooked arch liners to a bit of product as well, to soak through and soften up the bulk of the brake dust and make the pre-rinse a bit more effective. And while the consumer grade Karcher used to rinse it off afterwards likely won't be as long lasting as the more heavy duty old Kranzel I've come to rely on, did feel lighter and more nimble in the hand in comparison. Once pre-cleaned, the wheel rears and tyre walls were sprayed over with Gyeon's Q2 active cleaner to chemically strip back any previously applied dressing products as well as ferrous-based brake contamination. And with it not being my own product, didn't want to empty the entire bottle here, so deliberately overlooked the spokes as they didn't look too bad following the pre-clean. Then while that was chemically reacting, a basic little shampoo primed brush was used to access the lug nut areas inside corner of the spokes and caliper face, before a manky mitt that I think is generally used for the body was put to use here following an off-camera rinse out, which I thought was probably more appropriate. Then once sufficiently brushed and hand-mitted, which took a fair few methodical minutes, the barrels were thoroughly scrubbed with an easy detail brush, which I was happy to see in the garage as they're an essential staple in my opinion and not just for wheel cleaning. Then, with all areas of the wheels having been given a good clean, the rubber tyre walls were agitated over with another chunky shampoo prime detail brush to eliminate any stale dressings and dirt, before everything was thoroughly Karchered off to leave each corner acceptably clean. With the Karcher still to hand, I then went ahead and quickly rinsed the Spyder's fabric top off at low pressure to gently but effectively remove any light debris, as while I didn't have time to treat it to a dedicated deep clean and subsequent proof, thought it was still worth wetting down and exposing the fibres to some fresh suds to stop contamination potentially becoming ingrained over time. And if I had my gear in tow, would likely have been using a soft bristled Viking transport brush for this, but another chunky traditional type detail item pulled from the garage would have to suffice. Now, while looking back, it would have made more sense to pre-foam the car first and let that thoroughly soak while I was tending to the fabric top. Didn't get round to it until the paintwork was already wet following the roof rinse. But the air-infused hand pump applied citrus degreaser and sugar-based snow foam that sat over that still managed to cling onto the damp special sharp blue coloured surface for long enough to do its important job of softening up and dislodging any gritty transcontinental traffic film. And with skies this bleak, didn't have to worry about the suds drying on the surface, so let them soak for a minute or so following application before methodically rinsing the car off from top to bottom with the pressure washer to knock back as much loose dirt as possible. And while the pressure setting I'd selected meant the jet from the Karcher was considerably narrower than both of the 40 and 25 degree car scope nozzles I'm used to working with, and so didn't cover quite as much ground, it did provide a more focused clean, which actually at this stage in the process is exactly what you want, so stuck with it for a fair few minutes until I felt things were clean enough to then be able to go on and make some subsequent soapy contact. So while I could have used the manky garage mitt to wash the Spyder over with, as sporting paint protection film could technically be washed with a kitchen scourer, felt I needed to bend the rules a bit and put the only item I'd smuggled in as backup to use. But I would be using a non-familiar shampoo alongside it, so thought a plush microfibre mitt was an acceptable compromise. While I did sufficiently froth the Gyeon Bathe Plus shampoo, being ceramic based, it's never going to be the foamiest, and while I know there's more to a shampoo than suds, still generally just feels wrong to me trying to wash anything other than properly coated and only very lightly soiled surfaces down with flat products. And I might have stuck with it had there been any signs of protection following a rinse down, but unfortunately for whatever reason there wasn't, so switched it out for the more traditional Dodo juice stuff instead, which for a non-coated car that just needed a straightforward scrub thought was probably more appropriate. But to be honest, this was kind of the point of the video, to pull a bunch of random stuff out of someone else's collection, put it to use in the moment and see what worked, what didn't and why. Another point I wanted to make with this video, regardless of what products I unearthed, was that in my experience at least, decent results are as much about methodology, technique, and when it comes to cleaning fussily designed cars, a willingness to get stuck in. Obviously well formulated products are great, but they shouldn't be seen as a magic pill for effortlessly ridding a car of contamination, as the reality is that there's always going to be a certain amount of physical hokey pokey involved in getting the most out of them. So if you want professional results, bear in mind it's about more than just having professional products at your disposal. I wrapped up my bit of physical hokey pokey here with an archlit wash using the now downgraded Mitt to prevent my better quality one from potentially becoming contaminated with grit that might never work its way out. Before firing up the Karcher K4 one last time for a final thorough rinse of everything from the fabric top to the rear diffuser, which took a fair few minutes for me to adequately complete, partly because my arms were enjoying the novelty of working with a lightweight plastic lance, but also because I knew there was no point in half-arsing it at this post-wash point, so proceeded to rinse away until both mine and the car's hearts were content. So with the Spyder not sporting any chemical protection and with a limited amount of daylight left to superficially enhance things, decided to treat it to some of Turtle Wax's ceramic wet wax, as I did debut the Hybrid Solutions range on this very drive 5 years ago, but hadn't used this particular product in quite some time, so spritzed what little of it was left in the bottle over the freshly rinsed panels before drying them off with what looked like an auto Finesse Aqua Deluxe towel to leave a nice smear-free ceramic-infused shine that should serve to gently sheet water from the surface and keep things looking and feeling nice and slick for at least a few weeks. And while protecting the protection might seem counterintuitive, as paint protection film can't really be beaten in terms of physical robustness, its naturally grabby nature means that it's still important to try and keep surface friction to a minimum, or else it might start holding on to dirt and losing optical clarity. And while it can be waxed, sealed or coated, I've found a simple spray product like this used frequently enough will serve to keep it as slick as it realistically needs to be. The Spyder's shuts were then quickly wiped down with a smaller second towel just to ensure they didn't massively let the side down, which was a pretty straightforward and self-explanatory affair. Before the convertible top and 20-inch wheels were given a dedicated blow dry with a newly acquired machine I found tucked away at the back of the garage, which with its variable speed controls allows you to really fine-tune flow for whatever kind of surface you want drying. So low to medium for the soft top, for example, which obviously doesn't need to be battered, then a bit more of a heavy blast for the robust wheels. And while I wouldn't necessarily want to rely on an Amazon special like this for daily professional use, for firing up a few times a month, this thing felt fine. While I was working on and around the wheels, thought it made sense to go ahead and dress the now bone dry tyres with some potentially messy but still well formulated Gyeon Q2 Tire that I have used plenty of times before, but again just not in recent years. And I kept it real with a small paintbrush application here, which took a bit more time than a dedicated applicator would have, but allowed me to really get into the details. And while this silicon dioxide infused product does go on super glossy, once applied and left to penetrate for a few minutes can be thoroughly buffed back with an appropriate towel to leave a nice replenished yet non-shiny finish behind. And what more appropriate towels could there be for a job like this, where you might not want to irreversibly contaminate your good ones, than some basic perforated disposable ones I found dangling from a convenient roll in the garage. One last thing letting the overall look of the freshly cleaned car down then was the unsightly UK excursion sticker that replaces the previous GB ones, neither of which I really see the point of, as you can read the home country of a car by its plates. But either way, with this eyesore having only been affixed for a few weeks, was easily removed with a bit of hot air from the trusty Bonce blower. Then, once it had gone, a quick once over with an insect remover prime towel to gently lift off any light sticky residue meant I could down someone else's tools in this case and wrap it up there, as it was about to start getting cold, damp and dingy. So I appreciate I've cleaned plenty of Porsches, including a fair few blue ones on camera here before, but I hadn't done anything with this one and thought turning up to it with nothing but a wash mitt to my name was a unique idea that might just serve to raise a few points that I might not have thought of otherwise. Now, if you've got any points of your own you'd like to raise regarding the random selection of products put to use here, then I'd be happy to hear them. Otherwise, it's sayonara from the CRZ after 2.5 years of reliable service. And ciao Bella to a new, possibly temperamental car whose first reveal wash should be up within a few weeks of this one going live. So keep your eyes, ears and everything else peeled for that.